I'm only using hooks, no movement, just hooks, making it really difficult to fight enemies since I'm standing still most of the time. Will I be able to defeat any bosses? Will I even be able to make a base? Watch to the end to find out. But for now, we load in, and since we can't move, we just break any trees that are near us. And our best choice for now is to dig underground so we can find a hook. We do manage to find a little cave, but there's nothing in it that will help us out. We do get very lucky, however, because we find an underwater chest with a floaty in it, meaning that we can go up and down inside water, which is helpful considering how much we've been drowning recently. And we're lucky enough to find a minecart, allowing us to move left and right as we please. But it is a little bit tricky considering we have to move left and right by getting in and out multiple times. But this does allow us to get some ores, which is really helpful. And as you may have just saw, I got some lead and some topaz, meaning we can finally get a hook to move around. We managed to fall right into a mine shaft, which is really useful for us because we can get a ton of ores from here. We also managed to find our first life crystal, which is going to help us out a ton. We start breaking as many crates as we can because these drop ores, but unfortunately we die soon after. But since we finally have a hook, we can finally go on top of the surface, meaning we can actually explore our world now. We first come across a giant living tree, which is kind of hard to move around with just using hooks, but we managed to find a lot of decent loot. We start heading even further west to see if we can find any good weapons from any good chests. And I must say, using only hooks is a really fun challenge idea. Limiting all my movement just to one button, it's really challenging. And if you want to see more challenges like this, please support me by subscribing. We continue traversing this ginormous ice biome, but we come across this cave and I'm really curious as if we'll get a good item from here. We do manage to find not one, but 2 hard crystals, which is actually insane. We come across an underground house and we go inside to see if we can get anything from its chest. And we actually got an ice blade, which is actually the best thing we can get from down here. Meaning we can fight against enemies now. So we keep going deeper and deeper until we fall into a trap and we just died. But we got an amazing weapon while we were down there. I start using our hook to traverse the world even more to find a desert, but then a blood moon spawns in. And considering that we can barely move, it's going to be really hard to fight against these enemies. We start exploring the crimson biome even more. We enter the main cave system soon before dying. Since we're back at spawn, I think it's time to make a base. We start by digging this wall out as much as we can. Next, I start digging down columns. And just like in every single video, I want to make the base look as nice as possible. And you may be surprised to find out that this base is actually suitable for NPCs. We start digging out even more columns for more NPCs. I want to get as many as possible so we can get better stuff soon. And in my opinion, I don't think the base looks too bad. And I'm surprised with the quality of the base with how limited our movement is. And for now, I think our next step is to get some better armor. Heading into the mines, I want to start exploring the mine shaft even more, considering how much we left behind when we were first down here. Even coming across a cloud in a bottle, and 2 whole heart crystals. And this mine shaft was even more massive than I thought it was, with multiple rooms filled to the brim with tons of ores. However, we're gonna have to come back to this later because we need to start making our way down to hell. We do, however, come across a life crystal heading our way down. We head up to the surface hoping that the traveling merchant will have something good for us. After buying a lot of sake off of him, we melt down all the ores we got from the mines, making us some very honorable silver armor. We grapple our way over to the demolitionist to buy some dynamite off of him. We start blowing up a massive hole straight down to hell, and we are very lucky to come across what seems to be a spider chest, with our brand new hook, the web slinger, allowing us to shoot not one, but multiple webs at once. And it shoots a lot further than the amethyst hook we were using before. With this massive upgrade, we continue our journey down to hell. We keep hooking onto the walls and throwing our dynamite straight down to make this massive hole, while on the way, harvesting as many heart crystals as we can find. We make it low enough into the mines that we start finding lava, meaning we can get obsidian once we blow it up. Heading left into the mine, we find an underground mushroom biome, allowing us to get a lot of heart crystals and a lot of good loot from here. Riding along these minecart rails, we find a little hole that we can dig down into to hell. While we're down here, I want to get as much loot as possible, hoping for some obsidian skin potions. But before we do that, I want to head up into outer space to see if we can get a specific item. Going through multiple chunks of land to see if I can go up into space to see if I can find a flying island. Luckily for us, right as our potion was running out, we come across a flying island, which did in fact contain a house. However, inside that house we did not get the item that we needed, and we ran out of gravity potions, so this is it. But since the Sky Island didn't have the weapon I wanted, we might as well start exploring our other choices of weapons. Heading down into the Crimson biome, I find a life crystal and 2 hearts. We did in fact get the item that I wanted, being the Undertaker. Since our movement is very limited, I wanted to get a ranged weapon allowing us to shoot enemies from far away. And as you may have just saw, I set up a platform tower for the Eye of Cthulhu. And considering we can't move left and right, and we can only use our grapple hook, I wanted to use towers to hook away from the Eye of Cthulhu when he's chasing us. It's not much, but hopefully it will do for now. We set up a campfire at the top of the middle tower, and we get ready for the Eye of Cthulhu fight. While we wait for it to turn nighttime to fight the Eye of Cthulhu, I really want to ask you to please consider subscribing and help me out on my journey to 10,000 subscribers. Every little bit counts, and if you like this video, please drop a sub. Thank you. We head to the middle tower, drink potions, and prepare for our first major fight of this challenge. My plan for this fight is to stay away from him while he's shooting his ranged attacks, and then to run away from him with the hooks as fast as I can while he dashes into me. Since we're using a frost blade, we are able to attack him from afar. We have to be very quick with our grapples because we have no movement at all, so if he hits us once, then he can hit us multiple times. As he goes into a second phase, things get a lot scarier considering that we are in master mode, meaning that he's going to be a lot faster than we can dodge. He starts getting our health really low, however, we managed through it. No matter how hard a challenge is, I will always try my hardest to beat it. And with that, our first major fight is out of the way. The next obvious thing to do is to go fight the Brain Cthulhu. However, I'm not too sure if I'm prepared for this yet. Our best option for now is to stay as distant as possible. However, this might be a problem with the cramped fighting space. As we start building our arena, a goblin army starts appearing from the west, but for now, let's hope that's not a problem for us. We throw down 2 sticks of dynamite to blow up the final orb, and we race all the way back up to the arena. The vessels start spawning in, and I have to kill them as quickly as possible. With our limited movement, being targeted is a huge problem, but like usual, we will always overcome this. We head up to the surface and we start taking out the goblin invasion as quickly as we can. I don't want to lose any NPCs if we don't have to, so I start farming them from the inside of the base until they overwhelm me, unfortunately meaning that a lot of goblins got into the NPC houses. But we were in fact able to defend the NPCs, saving everyone in the base and defeating the goblin army. With this confident boost, I believe that we can finally defeat the Brain Cthulhu. All we need to do is act quickly and attack as fast as we can. Getting overwhelmed is not an option here. Even after dying a second time, I will not give up till I defeat the Brain Cthulhu. After getting it into its second stage, we very carefully decide which brain is the real one, and we start attacking it, and then we finally defeat the Brain Cthulhu. This being an amazing moment for us, meaning we got the Brain of Confusion, one of the best expert mode items. So we head down to hell and we start our preparations for the Wall of Flesh. Since we have a Crimtane pickaxe now, we can finally mine Hellstone getting its molten armor. But before we fight the Wall of Flesh, I decide why not fight Skeletron? And on our way to the dungeon, we found a falling meteorite. I'm not sure if we're going to use this later on, but hey, if we don't, we can sell it for money. We head through the west side Crimson biome hoping that we don't get attacked by any enemies, and we finally make it to the dungeon. And while we wait for it to turn nighttime to summon in Skeletron, I do want to announce that I do have a Discord server, where if you join you can suggest videos, or even be in a future video. And this video is actually suggested by one of our Discord members, so huge shout out to them, thank you for the idea. In addition, you can vote for next week's video, or you can even join me in one of my live streams and play with me. Please go check it out, links in the description. As night falls, we summon in Skeletron, starting an intense fight, as we have to dodge his arms as quickly as we can, or else it will do serious amounts of damage to us. So like you may have just saw, that did not go as planned. However, I am gonna craft a fire imp staff so we can attack him even better. So let's try this again. Dodging up and down, avoiding his hands as much as we can. Oh, no matter how much we try, there's just no dodging an enemy that's that fast. So as we get down to hell, we start preparations for the Wall of Flesh, breaking up a little arena for us to run across. We throw in a guide voodoo doll to summon him in, scaling the walls as quickly as we can to avoid all his attacks. And this is gonna be easy as hell. So yeah, don't play Terraria only using hooks. Or do, I don't care. But if you do want me to continue this painful, terrible, I don't like this series, please don't make me. But if you really don't like me and you want me to continue this painful series, then please subscribe, show support, check out the Discord, because this video was brought to you by one of our channel members. Also, I have a huge announcement. I am working on one of the biggest videos that you will probably ever see me make. That's no joke. I'm gonna have multiple Terraria YouTubers together, and I don't really want to spoil anything yet, but it's gonna be massive, so please stay tuned for that. It's gonna be amazing. But if you are in our Discord server, then you obviously know what it is, and I kind of already spoiled it a little bit. So if you want to know what it is, go check out our Discord, and if you just want to support me, please subscribe. It means a lot. With all that said, thank you for watching, and roll the outro.